Welcome back to episode 16 of the Coupe Projet, and today the whole entire car is primered, as you can see, and I'm going to start wrapping the car. And this is the roll over here. This is a roll but it's by Inozetek. This is going to be the, hold up one second. Oh. Ow, my face. All right. This is gonna be the color of the wrap. Woot. All right, so now I need to figure out which panel I actually should begin with, and we're gonna start wrapping. But before I start wrapping, let's talk about this, right? I have never wrapped before in my life, and you know what? Why not go with the hardest film to wrap with, right? Especially going on primer too. So this is going to be an experience. I have no idea if this is gonna fit on or stick onto a primer, and we'll go ahead and see. Actually, let me show you guys the color first before we actually start getting to some panels. So this is going to be the khaki green that I'm talking about. It's from Inozetek, and no, they did not send me out this roll. I actually got this from a good friend who I'm very thankful for. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I've decided that I'm gonna be starting on, I believe this is the driver or passenger side fender or side skirt. My friend Brian over here, which you'll see in a little bit, he's gonna be helping me with this entire process. So first step is to clean off the surface, possibly see if there's overspray on it, and then if there is, maybe we'll sand it down to 2000 grit or maybe use clay bar. But let's go ahead and clean this off first. This is going to be the first one. It is currently 10:04. All right, I think we just I guess we're like 90% finished. The only thing that's kind of left for us to do is kind of trim it. So let's go ahead and trim it, and we can see how it looks, and we can review and analyze how we did, and just go from there, learn from what we made or what mistakes we made. And yeah, let's go ahead and start making relief cuts and tucking things in. All right, we just finished the side skirt, and I'm gonna say now that working with Inozetek, it is really not that hard. I think for our first time, this was a solid 7 out of 10 work. There's some areas where we did overstretch it with the film. I'm not exactly too sure when we're supposed to take off the clear film that protects over or that covers the wrap film. So I'm gonna have to do some more research before I proceed on to the next panels, but let's go ahead and review how it went. All right, so this right here is going to be the side skirts that we did. As you can tell, we cut it to the point where it's the bracket where you won't see this. So we didn't really find a reason for us to kind of wrap over it. And we were dealing with a lot of tension when we were wrapping it. So let me give a little close up so you guys can get a general idea of how it looks. So as you can see right over here, I'm not too sure if you can see the glare, but there are the stretch marks right over here. I'm not too sure if you can see that, but hopefully you can see that. Right over here, this is, I might have to redo this side skirt, but it also is on the other side as well. As you can see, I really hope this shows up on camera. If it doesn't show up on camera, I'm gonna be disappointed because I really wanna show you guys the flaw and mistakes I made. But this is the bottom part, how it looks. This is the top. These are the corners right over here, which I think the corners came out pretty well. This is going to be the other side as well. Here is a little, come on, focus. Put this piece back over here. So can you wrap over primer? What I learned today was, yeah, you can. As long as you do the prep work properly and you sand it, block sand it so everything's completely leveled, yeah, you can wrap over it. Literally, I had no issue with it. You also need to prep the surface very well. I had isopropyl alcohol when I was cleaning off the surface. You just have to really gotta wipe it down and keep on wiping it until you don't see any contaminants on the towel. But overall, I think the experience, as my first time wrapping, I would say it was interesting. It wasn't too bad. But I think after doing this side skirt, I'm pretty sure I can do this quite literally relatively soon. I would say the learning curve was quite high for using this film, but for the most part, I think once you learn how to kind of use it, it was literally smooth sailing since literally after that. So yeah, we started at around 8:40. It is currently 12:36 a.m. and I'm gonna clap now. It's gonna fast forward to the next day. All right, so it's been a couple days and well, now it's time to actually start on the other side of the passenger side. And I think what I've learned since then is that you're actually supposed to remove the plastic cover on top of the wrap film. After you cut it, you're supposed to remove that immediately. So we didn't do that last time we did it. And as you can tell from the previous ones, there are little stretch marks that probably was caused by us leaving it on. So now with that very useful information, I'm pretty sure that we can get this a lot better. So let's go ahead and clean this up and we can see how far we get today. Bam! This, I actually did not touch this door at all. It was all from Justin and Brian. So I had two friends come over, Justin and Brian. They basically did this door and helped us along with the side skirts, along with the front fender, which is kind of done now. So let me show you guys the front fender actually. All right, so this is going to be the front fender for the driver's side and the side skirts are over here. This is the side skirts. So we got done with pretty much 3.5 panels. Thanks, a huge thank you to Justin and Brian. So with that being said, I'm gonna clap now and it's gonna fast forward to the next couple of days. Actually, before I clap now, I just wanna say I think Justin provided a lot of insightful things in regards to working with the Inozetek film. A lot of it comes down to making sure that there is not much stretch or not much tension when you lay it down. So whenever you lay down the film, you're gonna wanna make sure it's laying flat and wants to actually sit there rather than trying to stretch over it. And you can tell by using heat. Heat is a main factor that essentially tells whether the film wants to go in there or not. Because once you heat it, it will shrink because it's pre-stretched. And when you add heat, it'll shrink into the place. If it goes towards the direction that it's laying towards, that is a good sign. So with that being said, I am sweaty as hell. It is midnight, actually a little past midnight. I'm gonna clap now and it's gonna fast forward to the next couple days. All right, so a couple days have passed and now it's time for me to continue on towards more panels. And I think I'm gonna have some reinforcements coming in later to help me with, or giving me an extra hand to kind of wrap along panels like this and the A-pillar. So I'm gonna start on smaller panels first and see how far we get before reinforcements start to come in. All right, so this is gonna be pretty much the end of today. I'm gonna fast forward to like the next day, but before I do that, I'm gonna show you guys the progress that I made by myself. First, I did the front fender, and as you can see right here, I'm gonna be making a seam right here so that you can't really see it. My knife job, my knife skills or knife holding skills, knife cutting skills is not exactly the best. I need to work on that, but the corners over here seem decent actually. They seem okay. Let me show you a better one actually. They're all like kind of doo-doo, but hopefully you guys can see this, but these are all like the corners and whatnot. Up next, I wrapped both of these garnishes that go over here. I'm not too sure if the quarter panel's in frame, but this goes above the rear quarter panel and meets the A-pillar. So this is how they look. These are how they look. As you can, I'm trying to play with the lighting here so that you guys can actually see it. This is how these look. My first time wrapping again, as a keen reminder. Not too bad, not too bad. And then next, I tried to do this and I was so close to getting this piece finished. By the way, this goes right underneath my hood. I was so close to getting this finished, and as I was doing the freehand knife to kind of cut everything off so it doesn't meet, you know, this part right here. I'm not too sure if you guys can see this on camera, but right over here, I fucking nicked it. I went way too far, and obviously that's the black paint right there. This piece has to be redone, so I'm gonna have to rip this off. For the time being, I'm just gonna leave this on here just for the sake of, you know, keeping dust off of it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to redo this one. Hopefully by tomorrow we can get more done, and yeah. So I'm gonna clap now. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put this down. Okay, so now I'm gonna clap, and it's gonna fast forward to the next day. All right, so it is the next day, and I have my friend Brian over here. He's off camera. He's gonna help me, and we are going to start on the front fender. As you can see, there's a seam right here that we made, and we're gonna fill this up because this is exposed. So we'll get started with that, and maybe we'll work towards the A-pillar along with the rear quarter and get those finished by today. So let's get started. Boom, 10 hours later of hard work and kind of finagling. This is pretty much how it looks so far. I would say this is around like 50% done, kind of. A-pillar's done, rear quarter panel done, side skirt, door, front fender, rear trunk top piece. All that's left is for us to do the other side along with the front and rear bumper, along with the hood. So after that's done, then I have to do the front lip along with the mid wing. Currently, I am praying that I have enough material to actually do everything. And so far, it looks like I might be cutting it close. So let's go ahead and I guess we'll continue this another day. So let's go ahead and clap now. We're gonna fast forward to another day. All right, so a couple days have passed and now it's time to move on to the other side. So I'm gonna start by moving this car out and we can get started on working on this thing. I thought my car was misfiring. I was like,
your exhaust is blowing straight into the stuff. You should move it.
Oh shit, push me. Backing up. I'm good. Can you open my trunk so I can hear you? All right, so the left or driver and passenger side along with the rear trunk is pretty much done. The only thing that's left to do is the hood, front bumper, and rear bumper along with my lip and wing. With that being said, I'm gonna clap now and it's gonna fast forward to the next couple days. All right, so a couple days have passed and now it's time for us to complete the front hood. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on that. So as you can see, Brian and Justin mainly did this portion over here on the passenger side. Now today we're going to be working on this portion and this portion over here. Boom. All right, so as you can see, the hood is now done. This had to be done in 3 pieces. So we had to lay one over here, lay one over there, and then lay this final piece on top, along with, having all my knifeless edge or knifeless tape to kind of cut all the seams. The roll is not long enough to do the whole thing in one piece. Also, when we started getting towards the front or where the kidney grills are, that was a pain in the ass. Like, I think this middle piece was by far the most difficult part of the whole entire wrap. I think mainly because it's so big and it was just between 2 people. I think if we had an extra person, that would have been a lot, I guess, very helpful in terms of, being able to pull it out and glass it out. The only thing that's left is going to be my front bumper and my rear bumper. Those, I am not looking forward to those because they are it seems like I'm gonna have to make a couple seams for them. As for this piece over here, we finished the side fender garnish thing. This, I have mixed feelings about this, whether if I should leave this black or if I should keep it this color, so we'll see. So yeah, I'm gonna clap now and it's gonna fast forward to the next couple days. All right, so a couple days have passed once again, and now it's time for us to start working on the rear bumper. So let's go ahead and get into it. Oh shit, almost fucking died. Okay, so just so you guys are in the loop, we tried doing this in one piece. Totally was not doable, so we ripped it off, seamed off, I think, three portions on the bottom. Now we're gonna do the middle, and then we'll do the top afterwards. And I think we should have done that from the beginning. That probably would have saved us a ton of hours. It's also midnight. It's 12:09, so yeah. Well, I need to help Brian so I can finish this shit and go home. All right, so it is 1:51 a.m. in the morning, and we decided to seam it. And so far, I think we are pretty much 2/3 done. So I'm gonna clap in a few moments. Excuse me, I'm kind of delusional at the moment. I'm gonna clap now. It's gonna fast forward to the next couple days. All right, so a couple days have passed, and now it's time for us to finish up this rear bumper. We decided to seam it in, I guess, 3 or 4 pieces, and we worked our way from the bottom to the top just so that when we seam it over the wrap, when there's liquid or rain that falls over it, it won't go towards like the higher side of the wrap, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so the rear bumper is, I guess, 90% done. I think we're gonna try to see if we can finish the front bumper first to see if we have enough extra material in order to actually use a cleaner material on the rear bumper, because there's a lot of dust specks and primer that has been on the rear bumper, and that's also due to me not sanding off the areas after I took off the masking tape. But we're having issues with the front bumper, and that is mainly because this is my first panel that I worked on, and this was not done correctly. So I'm gonna have to redo this piece. I guess in the meantime, we're gonna put on all the panels just so I can clear up some room and I can work on all the front bumper, lip, wing, etc., right? So I guess this will go towards a montage of us putting on panels back to the car. All right, so the front bumper, we definitely tried our best to kind of make it work. I think we kind of ran into issues where there were some parts where in the corners where possibly I didn't sand it properly or sand it correctly, or possibly the prep work to get it to where it's at now wasn't done properly, but this is also very understandable because this was my first panel that I did. Yeah, so I'm gonna clap now, it's gonna fast forward, and we're gonna try our best to kind of figure this out, whether we need to redo this or whether we can full send it, so. All right, so a couple days have passed, and now it's time for us to do a second attempt on the front bumper. I think we can't do the inlays and it won't stick because of the primer, then that means we're gonna have to redo the front bumper once again and basically take off all the primer and then re-adding on the primer, at least doing it properly this time. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so as you can see, the time that I was working on it, I put back the trunk handle, and I found out that it wasn't my trunk actuator, so I just spent like $250 for absolutely no reason. I put back my badge along with my side skirts and front fender with Brian's help because, you know, I really couldn't lift it up. But the front bumper has been done quite well by Justin, and as you can tell over here, he pretty much did all the inlays over here. And I guess tomorrow, me and Brian will tackle the rest of the front bumper. I don't know if we're gonna finish it tomorrow, but yeah, it's currently, it's 1:34 a.m. We are all very tired and we're gonna go home. I'm gonna clap now and it's gonna fast forward on to the next day. All right, so it is now the next day, and I guess today is gonna be a relatively chill day. I think what we're gonna do is hopefully finish up the rear license plate holder, and the thing is we can't even put that on yet because previously it was put on by rivets, and I'm waiting for new, I guess, plastic rivets so that I can actually insert it back on. Along with that, I'm going to put back the side skirts along with the front fender and the front piece over here that goes right underneath the hood, along with a few miscellaneous stuff, and I'm pretty sure I'll cover it after we're done. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so as you can see, we put on the side skirts, front fender, and the front fender garnish piece over here, along with the trunk spoiler thing and the garnish piece that goes above the recorder panel. So for the most part, 80% of the car is pretty much done, and we are just waiting on the front bumper and the rear bumper. But I think I'm probably gonna continue that onto the next episode. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. Deuces.